All right, EA Ermor, turn 29. Niflheim claims the throne. A sign of things to come, no doubt. We start twice borning, so if our mages die, they will come back as white mages, which are very useful chassis. It does cost 10 death gems per mage, so I probably do this too much. The other nice thing about white mages is you pay no upkeep for them, and our augurs are pretty expensive. However, death gems are very valuable, so, bit of a toss-up. We get attacked in Ermor, our capital, and this is a remote attack spell, Arouse Hunger, so a bunch of ghouls rise up to attack us, and normally I would say, this is not a good idea. This spell, it's 8 death gems, and it can usually take out about 6 PD, but capitals start with 25 PD, which is a lot. So unless the nation has really awful PD, it's not going to work out. But, we took misfortune, so we are a land of yellow mold, and our PD has been reduced. However, javelins are pretty effective, especially against guys that have no protection. So, even our recruits see the ghouls away without too much trouble. We can declare a new prophet, because enough time has passed since we lost our last one in the caves of Agartha. And this is a raid against Agartha, just retaking our farmland province, with just a few troops. Not a lot of PD here, so it works out just fine. And then Agartha raids forward, and, we left no PD here. We've seen this force before. Not too worried about this, mostly worried about the Pretender. And then random events. So we actually get some luck in this province, but then some brigands show up. Not great. And then we get some misfortune in this other province. No brigands, though. And then Relay was vanquished. Not really sure what happened, but, it's the underwater. Not too relevant to us just yet. And yeah, I will catch you guys after the jump. All right, so this is the situation and what we're doing about it. We do have one raid going forward here. Maybe a little questionable, very close to his capital. It's pretty obvious. Maybe should have swung this around. But, this is enough stuff to take out PD. So if he doesn't respond to it, we'll and it's always nice to get rid of cap circle provinces and less resources. So we'll see. And then otherwise, we are anticipating a potential raid against our fort here. So we're patrolling with not everything, mostly just our troops and then priests to bless it. I do think, our troops are definitely going to outmatch whatever Agartha brings to the table, troop-wise here, but I don't think I realized, I'm pretty sure his Pretender can make this move, through friendly territory right on top of our fort. And so we're kind of risking our troops without any mage backup, which is definitely a mistake. So hopefully won't be punished for that. We're sneaking one of our assassins out because we're expecting, a raid here potentially. So we'll try to snipe a mage, if he moves anything over into this province. Otherwise, we are forging a black bow. Also possibly a waste of death gems, but this is something that we can potentially use to at least neuter Agartha's Pretender, because if it deals any damage at all, it will feeble mind the person in question, which matters a lot for mages because then they won't be able to cast anymore. Now you do need to deal damage, which could be a little tough because his Pretender is a decently high earth caster and has plenty of armor on him and will probably put iron skin on himself, and we're just going to be giving the bow to a regular human assassin. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And then speaking of assassins, we were actually profiting one of our assassins, which, yeah, maybe. They're not super fast, so that's a downside. But they are stealthy, and having a stealthy prophet can be really useful. And then otherwise, just continuing to build up, right? Doing, some more recruitment, letting our augurs finish off. Once we have those death mages, we'll probably be in a position where it's going to be much safer for us to move out. Continuing to do equite recruitment in the capital. We are building a decent amount of infrastructure. We are about to finish off this fortification here, and we're actually building a temple here this turn. It's going to be very important. We can see Niflheim's dominion is a little bit special, where it actually affects temperature scales in bordering provinces, right? So, even though it's late summer, right, and we took full heat scales, there's snow here, and it's cold, and that's, definitely this little ice spear that there's no accident that there's a temple here and that this is the province that's cold, and then look, here's the throne. So we're definitely going to have to do some dominion management here to make sure that we press Niflheim's dominion back. We may even need to spread our dominion into his land a little bit, and so that is what that temple is about. We may do some preaching as well, and then we are moving out our pretender to do some site searching along with our death fellow to do the death site searching. It's always a little scary, like moving onto a border province with kind of your squishy pretender, but we do have a non-aggression pact with Niflheim, so not expecting anything, and we're far enough away from the Agartha front. It should be fine. We do eventually want infrastructure here for the lizard shamans, but money problems. Otherwise, for the wider world, we did find Ulm's capital down here, so that's mildly interesting. We also see Ubar's flag, so possibly some fighting between Ulm and Ubar, probably over Helheim. So that is interesting. Not too relevant for us yet, but could be. And then we see a stack of Oni, so hopefully, this is a counterattack against Niflheim, so we're, hoping to catch that and see how that goes. And then Machaka has Pangaea under siege and cracked, so we're moving a scout there to, hopefully catch that assault next turn. And yeah, I think that covers turn 29. All right, EA Ermor, turn 30. We receive another messenger from Pelagia. Also, not really sure what's going on there, but underwater is not currently our concern. More twice spawning, definitely a questionable decision. Our profit goes up, Fomoria's profit goes up. We raid into Agartha's cap circle, and there's no response, not a lot of PD, so this works out for us. Our gladiator does die. That's sad, we're losing some gladiators, but they disappear anyway. And then we get attacked by TNN. This is, in this farm province that's kind of exchanged hands a couple of times, and a fairly significant attack, actually. We'll take a quick look at it. We left, 1 PD, right? Because, we're in the middle of a tussle. But yeah, a lot of sacreds, not a lot of, caster support. Just this one fellow who's, been kind of kitted out. Like, I don't hate this kit. This gives him an extra attack. It is sad for the elves because this gives him -1 defense. And of course, defense is one of the things that elves are really good at. But it is a good item, to clear out chaff. And then, he gave him this Ring of the Warrior, which, improves morale and attack skill by a lot. This is a really good item for thugs. So, light kitting, but solid kitting. I don't think we've seen his bless yet. So full poison resistance, which is always useful, especially useful on this nation because they can foul vapors. So you can use your sacreds in a foul vapors trap, and then a little bit of reinvigoration, which is always good for sacred thugs, which he has, or sacred casters, which he also has, and then some dark vision, which I think actually combines decently well because I think they naturally get half dark vision. So with the bless, they'll have full dark vision. So that's very cool. Like a light bless, but not a bad bless. But yeah, we don't love to see the elves here. Not really sure. Yeah, I don't know. Does TNN need more problems? I guess they feel they do. And then we caught the storm in Pangaea, and this is a big one. So excited to see this. Let's take a look at what Machaka's rocking. Looks like mostly just these Rhino Clan warriors who do get Formation Fighter, and otherwise are okay. They're not great. I do think they're, decently cheap. Like 17 pierce damage is nothing to sneeze at, though. They don't have great attack. And then some, pygmy archers. These guys are notable because they are some of the cheapest bows out there. And Machaka is in a nation that can do flaming arrows. So these guys are a great target for flaming arrows. He's got some other, better bowmen. Yeah, I think these Spider Clan might be cap only, maybe not. They get a poison bow, so that's kind of cool. And then he's got a ton of these great lions who are undisciplined, a little sad. It's probably, just for siege strength, I'm guessing. That's why he's got them in the back here, because they're not going to do so hot in combat. They have all the problems, that animals normally have. A decent amount of caster support here. Yeah, this is looking like, a lot of fire gems, probably lesser fire elementals. Hey, speaking of Twiceborn, Machaka is also someone that can take advantage of that. And then he's got, not his prophet, just a recruitable Holy 3, probably, because that's very cool. And then some nature gems, maybe like mass protection or like swarm. So yeah, like a decent force, but, not that scary. But let's see, Pangaea does not have a ton to oppose it, although he does have his Pretender here with a decently powerful caster. The Great White Bull does look like he's been fighting, taking some afflictions. No kit, sadly, although, this chassis does regenerate. 232 hit points, this guy's no joke. Let's see about the Bless. Shock resistance, sure. Fire resistance, yep. And regeneration. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like Pangea maybe doesn't quite have enough hit points to benefit a lot for how much regeneration costs, but I mean, it's definitely going to help. Caster-wise, let's see, he's got an Indy with a shield, a few blood slaves, maybe going to summon some imps. This is probably just bugs. Yeah, but he's got some casters here, like no Pans, which is a little sad. That's probably Pangea's best caster, so he does have a Dryad. He's summoned in some crocodiles. Yeah, there's not a whole lot here to oppose this Machakan army. So, we'll see. Like, yeah, no flaming arrows or anything, looks like. A little bit of evocation casting. Attack closest, which is always a little sad. Yeah, there's the imps coming in. But I think it's just not going to be quite enough imps to do the trick. The Pretender goes in, but boy, when he gets surrounded, especially the formation fighters, right? So there's even more attacks per square. Like he's still, he's doing okay. Let's see, he's taking a lot of damage, which means there's going to be a lot of afflictions. No, he hasn't taken any more afflictions, but HP is starting to drop now, although it'll maybe do better among the lions. Yeah, here's some of those lesser fire elementals. Of course, it looks like it is cold here, so they're not going to love that. The Pretender is really like the main wild card. I think otherwise there's just not enough stuff here to oppose him. But yeah, it's not looking good. He's definitely headed in the wrong direction. Although now that he's loose among like less dangerous stuff, that might actually work out. It's probably going to be an HP route soon for Pangea, but this guy is a Berserker. There is some risk that he will fall asleep. And of course, Berserkers will not retreat, even if the rest of the army is retreating, assuming that they've Berserked, which he most certainly has, because he's taken quite a bit of damage. This is probably his Prophet. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, he's been enlarged. I don't think that was part of the bless. Maybe I missed it. No, it doesn't look like it. Are these guys have been enlarged? Yeah, this guy's been enlarged. Let's see. Yeah, not part of the bless. It is a nature spell. You can enlarge yourself. Looks like the lions are, cleaning guys up in the back. Haven't routed yet. Kind of impressive, actually, for lions. I mean, these are like special Machaca lions. They have pretty good morale, so that's cool. The Pretender is still doing work out here, but now the Spearmen are coming back, and I think the Spearmen are probably the most dangerous thing. But he gets some pretty big regen ticks. Like, yeah, he's right on the edge. This is super dangerous. We probably can't see if he cast anything. Barkskin. So not a whole lot of research here yet for Pangea. Obviously, like Iron Skin would have been great here, or like even Stone Skin. If you can just get him just a little more protection. Yeah. So he does go down. That is sad. And then these casters I think are mostly asleep, and they're not going to be able to stop. Not even the lions. He does actually get the route on, the Spearmen. Looks like their morale could be a little better. Oh, this guy has Battle Fright. Okay, so yeah, they have decent morale. They definitely took a lot of casualties to that Pretender. So that works out for Machaca, but definitely not without loss. Let's take a look. Yeah, actually not that bad. Like the Great Lions are probably relatively cheap to summon in. Pygmies are extremely cheap units, so losing a few Pygmies, no big deal. The Rhino Clan, yeah, a little more expensive than normal infantry, so that's a little painful, but to take capital and kill a god, it's pretty low cost. This is something I would have liked to see for us on top of Agartha, but alas. So that's good news for Machaca, but probably not relevant for us just yet. Then we have some unexpected events. Yellow mold, of course, everywhere. There's some wildfires and heat goes up. This is actually probably a good thing. This is on the border with Niflheim, and then we lynched a wizard and took his gems, and then we caught 2 scouts with our patrolling, so Niflheim is keeping an eye. This is our fort that is in risk of Agartha jumping on top of it, so Niflheim is watching our conflicts, of course, and then Agartha is also scouting us, so nice to get rid of those. I did actually bring up some Augur Elders to support this army, so this was a little less reckless than I first thought, but yeah, still a bit dangerous. We finish our fort on top of the throne, and Pangea is vanquished. So yeah, I'll catch you guys after the jump. Alright, so this is the situation and what we're doing about it. We are counter-raiding. We're still building up, not quite ready to move out yet, although we are getting there. You can see, we have a lot more death mages. We have some guys with some fire gems, probably for flaming arrows. I don't think we're quite, we have a ways to go actually before Conjuration 5. So we may wait for, the full-size fire elementals. We'll see. If we can catch the Pretender, not in Agartha, and kill him, then we'll probably go in. But otherwise, definitely, got burned pretty hard, so trying to take it a little slower here. Continuing our raiding deeper into Agartha's territory. yeah, this might get countered. Like, maybe would have preferred this raid, especially because it's on the border with Niflheim, and, we don't want Niflheim jumping in. But yeah, I don't know. Could go either way. So we'll see. Hopefully that works. We are, raiding out with just a few legionaries here. Freaking TNN. Like, I don't know. We'll see. I think we're probably no, we're not actually patrolling the capital. Like, whatever. If he locks down the capital, we'll figure that out. This is going to be a fairly awkward war for us to prosecute. Like, I guess if he eats Abyssia completely, like, then, the war makes a lot more sense, right? And he can pick up more of our territory. But, like, I mean, that's a long way from like, as far as I know, TNN only has the single capital, whereas, like, Abyssia has two. So, this is already going to be a fairly challenging war for TNN, I think. Although Abyssia may also be fighting Calum at this point. I forget exactly when that happens, but, Calum, have we found Calum? I think we found Calum over here somewhere. No, we have not found Calum yet. But, we have seen that they're over here. I do know they're over here. And so at some point, they start attacking Abyssia as well. So, that changes matters a bit. But regardless, we do need this province back, and then, we'll see. From there, like, where do we go? We definitely want to finish Agartha first, and, to that end, we are doing a little bit of Augur Elder raiding, so we don't quite have Horde of Skeletons yet, but, raised skeletons will probably do the trick, and this guy is twice-born, right? So if he dies, great. And if he doesn't die and takes a province, also great. So yeah, I like doing this kind of raiding. As medium success. I think just the one guy, especially with the weaker spells, it's gonna be tough. Like, if there's 6 PD here, good chance that he dies. But it is extremely low risk raiding. And then yeah, continuing an Augur recruitment, Chaff recruitment, Equite recruitment. We're getting another priest, and these guys will be useful later on. But yeah, maybe would have skipped this. This does provide us a little more flexibility for heavier raiding with our sacreds, because we can split these guys out. And they'll be able to bless small groups of sacreds. And then, yeah, cutting down troop recruitment here, getting some more augurs, and then doing some site searching. And then it looks like Yomi did not choose to move out, which makes a lot of sense considering, like, what we see here. So we're actually going to move a little bit deeper. Not actually sure what we're planning here. Probably just want to see, like, does Niflheim have, like, a bunch of other stuff moving up? But this is a very scary force, and there's a fort under construction here. So Niflheim might just be digging in on this throne for now, and maybe this war, like, is finished, right? Maybe Niflheim just wanted this throne. Not really sure yet. But yeah, I think that covers turn 30. All right, EA Ermor, turn 31. We finish research and Conjuration 4, move into 5 for those big fire elementals. And then we find a magic site. This is in the Lizard Shaman province, Starlit Pond. I believe that's one Astral Pearl a turn. Very nice. Looks like Femoria grabs the Silver Throne, which is a very nice throne. Our Pretender, sadly, does not find any sites. And then we have a few battles. So this is our Ostadi raiding group moving deeper into Agartha's territory. But we run into a bit of a PD dump, and Horse Tribe Cavalry, yeah, they are one of the nastier PD types. Now, that said, we do have really big shields, so, we don't care about the bows so much, but we will definitely care about their lance charge. So once they run out of ammo, and, we still, that many bows is problematic. So, we get some javelin fire in there. This is, maybe not enough stuff. I don't know. It could work. Like, we do okay in the melee. Our higher than normal defense, because the shield is going to help a bit against the lance charge. But yeah, this is, it's going to be bloody no matter which way it goes. And then, yeah, we have the morale fail, and we lose the Centurion, so it doesn't quite work out, but that's, how it goes for these raiding groups. And then we raid into this province that TNN took, this farmland province that's been seeing a lot of back and forth. And yeah, we handled the 6 PD here, no problem. This is not a PD dump. And then there is a battle here in Nifl. And right, this is our guy, Oh, Marius's spellcasting was interrupted, all right. So while Mind Blasts don't do a lot of damage, when there are a lot of Mind Blasts and you don't have a lot of health, it definitely will kill you. So Agartha has moved out with, pretty much everything, right? Their Pretender is here. They got Earth Elementals. They've got some Gnomes somehow. So they brought those too. Plenty of Magma Children and plenty of Mind Blasting. Lots of, like, caster support with Gems. gems, probably earth elementals. So, this is a pretty serious force. Really, the Pretender is the main concern, although, you have to respect that many magma children. And then we had some unexpected events, new trade routes, very nice. Unfortunately, there's some sort of poisonous mushroom, so we get Death 3 and in that same farmland province. We really probably should get a fort here and start stacking some augurs to prevent this misfortune from completely ruining this province. But of course, we're in the middle of a war that we're kind of losing, so we're just going to have to accept our purple mushroom fate for the moment, and then we patrol out a TNN scout. This is that same fort. Everybody is interested in it. It is in a fairly useful choke point, so happy to be getting rid of those. And of course, Marius, he may not have finished his spell casting, but he lives again as a white mage. The other really nice thing about twice borning is sometimes, not always, I've heard 20%. I don't actually know the exact number. That feels about right based off of my experience. But anyway, sometimes their knowledge of death magic increases, so you get one additional path in death magic. So this is going to take him from Death 3 to Death 4, which is pretty important. So that was very lucky, and hopefully we will see more of that in the future. And I will catch you guys after the jump. All right, so this is the situation and what we're doing about it. This is that force from Agartha, and it looks like we're attacking, but we're not. We're just going to hide in our fort for the most part. We're just going to bounce a commander off of it to see, is he going to PD dump? Is he going to reinforce it? Just looking for information, really. And if we can draw him on top of our fort inside of our dominion, it would actually be much better for us to take a battle here rather than this province where he has dominion. That's very important when fighting pretenders. We're going to pull this raiding group back. We could continue to raid against TNN, but if they just leave us alone, fine, whatever. We're willing to, forget about that. And I don't really think that this group would make it all that far, right? TNN's capital is right down here, pretty close. So, these guys would run into elves really quickly, and, we may need everything shortly. However, we're still trying to keep up some raiding pressure. Very happy to see that, I'm moving some raiders through this Well of Pestilence province. So I did eventually figure that out. And, we're going to threaten, some territory that's a little farther afield. Unfortunately, these mountain passes, I think, are closed because we don't have heat scales here, and if they aren't closed this turn, they will probably be closed next turn because it's fall, so we're headed towards winter. So there's a good chance that we won't actually be able to sneak through here, and we're just going to have to hang out until spring or summer. So, that's kind of unfortunate, and also why we were trying to push raiders through here. This is just, it's a narrow front. There's a lot of mountain passes. It's not a great war in a lot of ways, but it's the war that we're in. Recruiting more raiders here, starting to get some of these adepts of the Golden Order, which I think will be useful. Like I said, a little less useful for us, but still definitely useful. So we'd like to get a couple of those guys. Of course, Equite the Sacred Shroud. Switching over more to some augur recruitment. Our augur numbers are a little bit low, especially because we've dragged a bunch of augurs right down to here in preparation for this battle. So we'd prefer to see less yellow mold, on our capital and everything. So these guys, they're decent fortune tellers, so a good way to prevent that. And I kind of like to stuff all of my forts with lots of augurs as early age Ermor because they're fairly effective in battle. So if somebody sees a stack of augurs in a fort, they're that's going to be painful. And of course, always with the money problems, we have a site searcher out here pushing around a few other site searchers is what a lot of these other arrows are about. And I think that covers turn 31. All right, EA Ermor, turn 32. We get another messenger from Pelagia. I'm sure this will be good. So, not going to analyze this too deeply, but this is actually indicative of some things that we're going to verify with scouting in a few turns, is that it looks like Niflheim and Oceania are fighting, which is good news. We want Niflheim nice and busy, and nothing like an underwater nation raiding you to keep you busy as a land nation. So we are pretty happy to see that. We also find a Thunder Oak. This is with our Augur Elder, who randomed into air. Very happy to have him, and very glad that he's, finding us some air income early. On the less glad front, we get raided here by Agartha. This is in their territory, and, we have one of our standards that retreated. It's fine, but it is always sad to be losing provinces. And then this is on top of our fort, which we did not contest. So we've seen, most of this army before, more magma kids in here, and, some caster support. Yeah, it's got some gems as well. Maybe Maws of the Earth, maybe some Earth Elementals, like very cool stuff. And then, of course, here's his Pretender who's fully kitted out. Got a bunch of Death Gems, which is kind of interesting. Not sure what that's going to be for. So anyway, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty scary force. The only thing, right, is he's going to take a big hit to his hit points, which is going to be really relevant because, you regenerate based off your current maximum hit points, or excuse me, his current maximum hit points down here. So he's only going to have 40 hit points in this level of Dominion. Now our Dominion will probably start to shrink because Pretenders push their own Dominion, but still he's going to be significantly easier to kill, like here on top of our fort. So in some ways this is a good thing. In other ways, our fort got locked down. That's not great. And then this is just us pinging the province where his army was. Just kind of wanted to see like exactly what was in it and was he dumping PD. But of course, he just jumped right on top of our fort. So this wasn't really necessary. And then we had an unexpected event. So someone's teaching that labor is wicked. And so as misfortune goes, that's not too bad. Speaking of, one of our augurs prevented a bad event. We like to see that. And then we're under siege. Our walls are damaged, and I will catch you guys after the jump. All right, so this is the situation and what we're doing about it. Mostly we're just hiding in our fort. So, we're doing a little bit of site searching here, which is a little questionable. We already remote site searched death here and discovered, yes, there is a well of pestilence here. But, we haven't searched fire or astral. Searching in astral 1 is a little sad, and I actually think I probably should have leaned into the remote site searching for astral as early age Ermor, maybe a little earlier. We do get some decent astral site searching out of our Pretender, right? We've searched to 4 in a number of places, but otherwise we're kind of only searching at 1, which is not great for astral. But regardless, we are searching there, and then of course, one of our raiding groups here embarrassingly cannot get through any of these mountain passes, so has to return home. And so we're going to bring out, our garrison here from the fort and, just try to cover our site searcher here. I think we have like some PD as well. Yeah, like a little bit of a PD dump. It's Bear Tribe. It's not great. It's okay. But, and then our fellow here who's site searching is just going to make some skeletons. The weaker, skeleton making spell. We don't quite have enchantment 5, but hopefully with all these things combined, it'll block like any of his raiders that come out. He may also shard out, right, and start raiding us a little deeper in our territory, which would be a little sad, and we don't have a ton here to oppose him, but we are slamming out Equite and some legionaries, and we're not bringing these legionaries, maybe should have grabbed them. We are bringing like 4 augurs forward, so we're gonna have stuff like to fight raiders, definitely. And of course anything he uses to raid with is gonna leave him vulnerable to maybe not a massive stack, but a pretty significant stack, right, that we have like here. Yeah, okay, maybe kind of a massive stack actually, that we have here in this fort. Maybe over recruited Ostati, I would say. They're good, but I don't know if they're gonna help us too much in this situation. But we have more than just Ostati. We have also packed this fort, full of augurs, and the plan is of course the mine burn, and we have a bunch of those bows now, right? We're up to 5 bows, which is feeling much better. We have our prophet here, another holy 3. We have some death mages, right, which is going to help out a lot against this Pretender. And the other big thing that we're going to have, not this turn, but next turn, is we're going to have Conjuration 5, just barely going to squeak it out. So we will have full-sized fire elementals. So probably with that online, we will actually sally and fight. The fort will probably be cracked next turn. It's going to be tight, but yeah, so probably he'll have the option to assault next turn, but I actually think we have the numbers advantage, so we'll probably come out to fight him. We're just kind of waiting for that research. And yeah, otherwise, other recruitment, augurs, yeah, we talked about the Ostati, kind of recruiting Ostati. We're recruiting the Leves over here, kind of more thinking using these guys as raiders. I think we're recruiting, more Ostati over here, so clearly past me. Felt that we did not have enough Ostati. Certainly we are expecting to lose a bunch, and they will be really useful siege strength once we counterattack, and go at Agartha. assuming, of course, this works out. Otherwise, they'll provide decent siege defense, right, if we have to maybe defend our capital in an assault situation. In terms of the wider world, we can see that, Abyssia and Tian'an are still, raiding back and forth, still fighting. Can't see too much else. A little bit of early age Ulm down here, a little bit of Ubar, and, we're trying to keep eyes, but it kind of looks like Yomi and Niflheim have stopped fighting, at least for the moment. So we're trying to keep an eye on that. And I think that covers turn 32.